Hey, it's Meg. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have another junk journal with me for you. I'm really enjoying working in this accordion style paint sampler booklet. There's so many different pages and things to work on, so I'm really enjoying building up the collage on this. So if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, I'll leave a link down below to the playlist where you can see sort of the process of building up all of these layers, the pages, and adding in the signatures and things. But today I'm still very much working on building up the background and all of the bits and bobs, I guess you could call it, on the page. I'm going to do some stamping. I know I said in the previous video that I'd got my box of stamps out because I wanted to stamp, and then I realised I didn't even do any stamping because I got so distracted by other things, so that's something that I'm going to do today. I also got out my stencils. I want to start adding some patterns. I think that would be fun for the backgrounds. And as always, here and off to the side where you can't see, a whole collection of papers and things that I want to work on for this journal. Okay, so let's start with some stamping. So I think these two stamps I picked up from, I want to say it was called Action when I was in the Netherlands, but I thought these designs might be quite nice. I've also got a couple of little florals here. I think they came in a multi-pack, but I got them a few years ago, so I can't quite remember where they're from. And then I do have this cherry blossom stamp, which is a Cat's Life Press one, and I know I got this one from miso paper, so just in case you were wondering where the stamps came from. And I'm going to use my go-to little VersaFine in vintage sepia, just because I love brown ink rather than black. It's so much softer, and I think it goes well with the vintage tones that I have going on in these sort of projects. So let's see. So we've kind of already worked a little bit on these, but maybe I'm wondering if adding just a bit of stamping here might help to fill in the gaps. So I'm probably not going to be worried about it being a crisp stamp too much, but I just think that works well to add some interest there at the bottom. And plus, because I've done that, I can get away with using it in other places on this journal, I think, without it looking too repetitive with the pattern. So I think here as well might look really nice, especially with the craft paper. So as always, no plans or anything when I'm doing stuff like this. We're just going to see what we think might work, and I was hoping that would be a little bit more on the page, but never mind. Let's go there. Okay, that's really messy. That's maybe not what I was after, but never mind. I don't think it looks too bad. There's just a gap. There we go. There was just a little gap that I think wasn't helping. So you can see, you can't really tell that it's the cherry blossom too much, but it just, I think, helps to bridge that gap there. And then maybe we'll do one on here as well. I don't want to go too overboard with this, but just adding a few. So maybe let's see. Let's go up here. And I think doing it off the edge as well helps with not getting that repetitive design as well. So you can kind of get away with using the same stamps in lots of different places, because I don't have a huge collection of stamps, so I'm always looking for ways to make them go further and sort of do different things with them and use my supplies in lots of different ways. So stamping off to the side and doing it in little collages, I think, will help to detract from the fact that it's the same design but in 3 different places here. So off the corner there, and then off the side here, but that's probably a little bit more cluttered than I was hoping for, but we can work with it. So let's see. I thought this would be really nice on a larger piece, but I'm not sure if it'll work on, in fact, let's try it on this envelope piece here. So if it goes there, okay, I'll just put the ink all the way around and we'll see what happens. I'm hoping it does give a bit of a crisper image because it's quite a fine design, but we'll see. So let me just line it up. That's the only thing with rubber stamps, is you can't quite tell where you're going. You just sort of have to wish and pray that it's gonna go right. Okay, I'm happy with that. There we go. That's quite nice actually, I think, over the two different sides of the page there. Okay, I really like that. And I think it works well, the colour as well, on the envelope here. And I think that might be actually it for stamping. Maybe we do a couple of this little one here. I've actually used this quite a lot. It's one of my favourites, especially for going on the edges of pages. So let me just grab something to go underneath there so I don't stamp onto the other pages. There we go. So just like little hints I like to add, and sometimes I'll just keep stamping until the ink runs out and you get that like more faded effect as well. I think that's always fun for a page like that. So maybe just one here. There we go, just to soften that a little bit. So this is feeling really busy in a way, but I also kind of like it. So I'm going to think about how I'm going to finish that off, because it definitely doesn't feel finished, but I'm not quite sure what it needs based on the size of the page here. So let's see, I want to start working more on these ones here, because I think for now they've got decent like background bits. They're not quite finished, but I want to keep the momentum going with some of these pages. So let me just glue this piece down that I wanted to add, that I printed out on tracing paper. So let's just glue this down, because I think I was thinking about this in the last video actually, and then I never actually glued it down. So I'm going to make that decision now to add this to the page. Oh, and it curls up the tracing paper, so it's a little bit tricky to work with, but I think I'm going to put it down here and just line that up on the edge if I can. There we go. And then I'm going to probably need to add a bit more glue here to make sure that the edge stays where it's supposed to. So just add it like that. There we go. Okay, I quite like that, and how it's melted into the little page. And I think, is this a pocket? Yes, it's a pocket. So that's going to be really fun, I think, to layer something. So I think for that, I'm probably going to want something that's like a fair bit darker. So let's just have a test to see what sort of, yeah, so I think something that's maybe possibly even a little bit darker than this sort of paper would be really nice as a big long tag, I think, to go in a page like this. It's going to have to be probably to like there, so that I can actually get into the pocket, or maybe I could cut around here actually, just to make the opening a little bit easier to get in and out of. So in fact, I'm going to just stick that in there for now, just so it kind of reminds me that that's what I was thinking about for that idea. And that way then I can also decorate the front of this too, maybe with, let's see, I have some stamps that might be quite fun. Okay, I don't think I like any of these stamps, but maybe I'll use them like reversed. That's my hack. If I don't like the design of the stamps on one side, I'll just turn them over and still be able to use them then, but not in that sort of way, because they're not really like the colours, I don't think, that I want to use within my pages. So let's see how we can add some of these, or maybe that might not work. Maybe we only need 2. There we go. So I'm just sort of using them almost as like their own little collage elements in a way by doing it like this. Plus you get that aged effect that they have, like especially this one here that's a lot darker. So that sort of look for the stamps. And it's just something a little bit different for the page. And I'm going to make sure that my coffee doesn't go cold, because I think I got really into the collaging in my last video and the tea went cold, so not doing that again. So let's see, I've just brought out like lots of little scrappy bits that I have that you would probably just like get rid of, but I decided that it might be quite nice to add as some textural elements for this page. So let's see, maybe there. And then I'm sort of thinking something needs to go here because otherwise I've got a bit of a gap, but I don't want to, or maybe, no, I don't want to put it like that because I don't want to cover it with this necessarily. But I think this going up here kind of carries across that collagey element. So let me just glue that down before I change my mind. And I'm also trying to use up some of the bits that I printed out from the Junk Journal January challenge. And I'm thinking this yellow could be quite fun for adding that eclectic feel to the page. So I think like that, the way that it's peeking out would look really nice. So let's see. So I could either, I don't really want to glue it there, but maybe I could, maybe I could staple it on to about, let's cover that because I don't want to cover all of the stamping that I just did. But maybe if I think if I go about there, and then that way you can see it there, you can see it there. I do think I want to have it overlap slightly. The only thing with having a journal this sort of shape is you kind of have to do a little bit of gymnastics in order to get it the way that you want it to when you have like all of this to deal with. So I don't think that the glue would necessarily be the best option for this, but I'm going to add some washi tape, I think, as reinforcement. So it's a little bit of a random shaped page, but I just think it works with all the other bits that we've got going on here. Let me just add some washi tape on here for now whilst I'm thinking about that. Let's use, I don't know, I've either got this grid one or some stars. I think I'm going to go with the grid for this one. Pick something that's fairly neutral. So if we just add it like there, and sometimes I'll just crease the washi as well just to add some extra texture. Okay, so this is a really weird shaped page, but never mind. I'm quite pleased with that. Actually, I'm not sure if it needs it. Maybe we just need to add a little bit of glue here to keep this bit from getting caught up in anything. Like so. In fact, I think that's fine because that almost just works like a large tab in a way. It's like a scrappy tab. And then maybe, I was thinking I could dye this side, but then I don't want to, because this is printed, so I don't want it to run, but I also don't want it to be bright white. So maybe there's something I need to do there, but I can't think what it is that I need to do for that page. So I'm just going to leave it for now, and I'm going to use some of my stencils, I think. So I really like, where is it? And yes, I know I have paint on these stencils. Don't tell me that. I already know. I really love these patterns. So where's the other one gone? I've used these quite a lot, but I just really love them. So I've got this pattern here. I've got this one possibly, but I'm not so sure. And then I really love this one here. I might use this one. Maybe we'll go with this one. So I think it might look nice somewhere around here. And I think I'm just going to do it with a white pen and then fill in the details. So rather than using paint, so I'm just going to trace some of the patterns that I want for this section of the page. And I'm using, as always, a white Uniball Signo. It's one of my favourite pens to use. I find it's just really opaque and works well. I think this is like a finer tip. You can also get them in a broad nib as well. And I just think it's quite relaxing sometimes to do things like this when they have a repeating pattern, and you can just not think about it too much and just look at all of the different details that you can create by adding things like this. So I'm not going to cover the entire page. I just want it to be a sort of design element almost on the edge of this page. And I'm doing some as well, like this one, where the full design isn't included, but I'm just overlapping it on the edge just so it doesn't all feel quite so rigid on the page. So as you can see, like this, you've got them bits on the side there. So I'm just gonna add, where have I missed bits? Here. And one here. So yeah, I don't want to add too much of this, but just enough that it adds a nice bit of, oh, I've missed one there. Let's grab that one before I forget. I'll add this one in too. There we go. Maybe I want to overlap it ever so slightly down here on this one. Maybe I might just do the top three. I don't want to interrupt the stamping design too much, but I do want it to overlap just a little bit. There we go. And I'll just do one side of this one so that it tapers off a little bit. There we go. And so that's what it looks like on the page. So this is quite different from the collage pages, but I think I'm going to start adding bits to it anyway. And I can't decide if I want to colour this in or not. I actually think I want to leave it as is. I'm just going to add a few like very subtle like scribbles just to make it look not so perfect and precise. There we go. Not much at all, but it just helps to make it look a little bit more organic, I think. Okay, so let's add some scrappy collage elements to this page, because otherwise it doesn't feel like it's my sort of page if it doesn't have any torn book edges or things like that. So let's see where we want to add some of these. I'm thinking, can't decide, maybe we'll do a bit of an overlap here and try and bring the two pages together a little bit. So maybe there. And again, I'm trying not to think too much about where I'm going to stick things because it's just a background, so it doesn't matter too much. Trying to push these together just a little bit for those creased edges like that. Maybe we could add some brown down here so that we have the colour carrying across. And then this is some tea-dyed paper that I think I'm going to add along the edge with this piece too. I really like the effect of the colouring of this one. And back, let's go there. So yeah, I'm keeping this page actually quite neutral. But I think as I go on, I will add the pops of colour like I have done in these pages, as you can see here, but it's just not like everywhere. I want it to be quite like intentional of where this suddenly all these bright colours happening. So I think one there as well, just to overlap. And sometimes I often find things look a bit strange, and then when I add like a third piece, because you just have that rule of 3, that suddenly just helps to bring everything together. Now, even though I am conscious of not bulking things up too much in each of these signatures, I do have this piece which I think could be quite nice as a bit of a tip in, because you have that green as a contrasting colour, and I'm wondering if I could even have this as a fold out, because that's just, why not? We can just go the full extra mile with adding extra bits to this journal. This is definitely just a sort of see what happens type of process to this, so maybe like that. Is that straight? Nope. Would help if I did this evenly. And I think I've actually made it more wonky. Let me pull it out of there whilst I fix this. Hold on. I don't know, something like that. It doesn't have to be too precise, but I'm just thinking, do I want the notes to be the right way up? That might be quite nice actually. And then you've still got the green as the contrast. And then maybe just open it up to another. Maybe if I could just put it in like that. How could I do that? Just with some washi tape? I think that would be a really nice place for a quote or something. And then I think, yeah, I quite like seeing notes there at the top. In fact, I might even leave that little bit hanging over, and you can kind of still see, yeah, you can see the green then throughout here. So tell you what, let's add that in. So I think I might use one of my empty washi tapes here, because it goes with the colour here and sort of blends in slightly, but there's still a nice pattern to this one. Okay, we really are just making all the random decisions today, aren't we? But never mind. I really love the way that this particular signature is turning out, I think, in this journal. Whether that's going to carry through to the rest of the book, I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, so let's just add that on the side, like that. And then we've got that opens up. And then I'm just going to need to, don't know, should I use the same tape? I guess I could. Maybe I'll use 2 different ones. What else do we have in here? I'm looking in my little drawer of washi tapes that I've got off to the side. In fact, I might use this one. I really love, it's by, I'm not sure if he sells it anymore. It's by Job's journal, and I'm obsessed with it. It's got like pressed flowers and like, look at this design, and sort of ledger paper as well. Absolutely beautiful. So I think I kind of want to use this section here up to the orange. So let's go with this. And then I'm gonna add it there, just overlapping the other piece, just to make sure that we've got this extra tip in nice and secure. And then I've just got this extra bit left over, so maybe I can add that to a different page. I don't know if I want to add it in the same section though. Doesn't really go there. Decisions, doesn't really go there. Oh, maybe it could go here. Yeah, let's put it there. Why not? Okay, that's been added in. Oh, I realised I never came back to this. That's a theme that we're going to see throughout this journal, is just me going from place to place, working on all these different bits, and it doesn't ever feel like I do that much to it, but then there are lots of sections sort of adding adding into this journal. So let's see, I think let's sort this area out and then see how we're looking. Ooh, maybe I'll just add this piece of translucent element so you can still sort of see what's happening there, but it just bridges that gap a little bit. And I just think it's really fun to work like on different bits of pages, like multiple pages at once, adding all of these background bits together. And just seeing that orange there made me want to pull out my Neo colours here just to add some scribbling to this page. So maybe just at the top here. Love the pop of colour that it adds. And I always use, I think this is one of my favourite. What colour is this? This is salmon. I love this colour. I also love using, is it this one? Yeah, there's saffron, and then also ochre. I'd say they're my like 3 favourite colours of the Neo colour crayons that I like to use for my journals. Okay, so I've kind of just done like the collage on the edges of these pages. Definitely feels like we're going to need to come up with something for the focal point here, but I'm not sure what that is yet. But I do really like this extra tab that has been added. Also the little bits of stamping. I've got this page here prepped, ready to add some extra bits to. I think it definitely needs some detail work, and then maybe this is my focus point here for like a quote or something, some writing. And then spontaneously we've added in this extra piece here. So I think that's going to be it for today's collaging session in this journal.